Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It is winter break, part 1. As the Premier League, only not even half, only less than half of the teams have turned out for this round of fixtures. We only have 4 matches to cover, so what we're going to do, a little bit of a throwback to what we did last year, we're going to add some mystery games. So Tom's going to have a mystery game, I'm going to have a mystery game to bring it up to an even 6 matches. And there will be 6 matches on the next round as well. So the timestamps will be down in the description below. Thomas, are you ready?
Oh, raring to go.
Have you picked your mystery game?
It is a doozy.
I can't wait for it. So lead me in to the first match.
Possibly the most exciting match of 26A. It's Manchester City hosting West Ham United.
Oh, I could talk for hours about how frustrating both of these sides are. West Ham United, we put our neck on the line for you. 3-1 up at home against a struggling, to say the least, struggling Brighton side. And you conspire to blow it. You didn't just lose 3 goals against Brighton. You gifted them 2 goals. And then you could have even lost it at the end. Absolutely shocking performance. And what makes it worse is they now enter into a really tough stretch of games. I think they've got to play all the top 6 in the next few weeks. They are in massive trouble. They easily could be in the bottom 3 and facing a mad scramble at the end to try and get some points. That was such a bad... Oh, I can't even... Not the fact that we just backed them, but it just was such a bad way to lose a 3-1 lead with about half an hour to go.
It was diabolical.
Man City, Tottenham. Oh, that game was absolutely crazy. I cannot believe Manchester City lost that game. People are calling it a Mourinho masterclass, but I don't really want to talk about Mourinho. That will be next week. You know, you talk a lot about how Liverpool and Man United have switched places.
Yeah.
I think Man City are on the cusp of turning into Arsenal. They've gone from being at the epitome of their game last season to now being, yes, they're still good going forward, but they overplay and they try and walk the ball in way too much. And defensively, they're a freaking joke. And if he doesn't address that next season, or even if he's going to be there, then...
Why do you need to address that? Laporte's coming back. He's the best centre back in the world.
And of course, why not just play Fernandinho there again next season? Why not? And of course, you've got John Stones, the greatest young defender in the history of the world, who's like a Theo Walcott Mark II. He'll be 35 and they'll be calling him a good young player.
They'll be playing at Everton then, though, so don't worry.
They're talking today about what makes a success for Man City. It's like, well, yeah, they'll probably win the League Cup. They might win the FA Cup. But I can't see them winning the Champions League. Not with them having Real Madrid, who actually look pretty good now, to play. So, anyway, back to this one. I don't see West Ham getting anything, unfortunately. This is pretty much what City needed after that Spurs game. It's going to be 3-0 to Man City.
You said everything.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that one all day today.
I'm going to go with 4-0. Really quickly, the Mourinho masterclass it wasn't a masterclass. City had so many opportunities to win this game. Like, so many. Both of these clubs went out of their way on Sunday to lose games Saturday and Sunday. Like,
yeah,
I don't get it.
Yeah, and VAR seemed like it was just on a roulette wheel.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's just VAR every single match. You literally never know which version. VAR is like a schizophrenic referee. Like, it can't ever decide what mood it's in. Sorry about that, mental health people. It's my bad. But West, you know what? I can't do it. You've done it. I'll be here for another 20 minutes if we don't get round to this. 4-0 to Man City. I wanted to do 3-0, but I can't copy you. Ian, take me into the next name.
Brighton, Hove and Albion versus Watford.
Brighton, having had literally no fight in them for the last month and a half after being taken apart by a Bournemouth side, go out and get a 3-0 draw against West Ham, which they did not deserve. But they've come through it, and Glenn Murray gives an interview post-match. He's like, we've had a really tough time. My boy, Glenn Murray. And
you called it. You called it a few weeks ago. Play Glenn Murray.
He scores goals. Man United need him. Bring him to Man United. I love Glenn Murray. He's also a very nice man. But Brighton and Hove and Albion got a really good result, and you can't not see that swinging in their favor at the Amex against a Watford team that has done exactly as I said. They went from winning every single game to losing every single game. They can't help it. They cannot draw matches. It's against their DNA. Sorry, their dinner. It's just, they can't do it. They're terrible. They're either the best club in the country or the worst club in the country, but there's nothing in between. So I got Brighton to win this one. I think they'll push on from this. I think they'll win 2-1.
I'm actually going to go the opposite. I think that Brighton's good start to the season has just meant that they just do enough. Every now and again they get a decent draw or a win, and it just keeps their noses above the drop zone, so I think they'll be fine this season. Watford are the team that really need this yet. They've been not only losing, but they've been throwing away leads. I mean, God, 2-0 up against Everton to lose 3-2. It's like, I mean, this goes all the way back to that 3-3 draw they had at Tranmere like a long time ago. They still almost seem like they haven't got over that. I think Nigel Pearson is not only going to put a rocket up the players, I think he's going to threaten their families if they don't get a result in this one. So those Watford boys had better turn up and perform, and I think they will. I think it will be the reverse. I'm going 2-1 Watford.
Everton.
Thomas, watch out! The Eagles are coming!
Because it's Everton versus Crystal Palace.
I don't know how to call this one. This one's a real toss of a coin for me. I mean, Palace are generally very good away. Everton, you still don't know what you're going to get. It was a really good comeback win for them against Watford last time out. Theo Walcott actually rolling. Who is this young whippersnapper who's come out of nowhere?
Theo Walcott for England. I'm calling it now. He's on his way up, folks.
And I think Carlo Ancelotti is really realising what the hell is this team that I've inherited? They are, you just do not know what you're going to get from. And I think this one's going to be a draw. I just think Palace, they're not firing on all cylinders. They're just kind of grinding through the season now. I think this is going to be one apiece.
Everton are a dumpster fire of a club. Signing Ancelotti is just, I mean, what a coup. It really was a coup to get this sort of manager in. But I don't think this sort of manager is what's going to make this club better. Their recruitment policy is all over the shop. It's, are you available? If so, are you in the 20 to 45 million pound range? Yes, you are. We'll take you. Or we'll take him as well. Or you're free from Arsenal. We'll take you as well. Palace have been good. It took you a solid 3 months to convince me of this fact, but they're good. Yeah. And they lost 1-0 to Chris Wilder's Sheffield United last week. And
yeah, they lost 1-0, but when your goalie, who has been excellent this season, their keeper, drops the ball over the goal line, there's not much you can do.
I mean, more my point was that they're coming up against a top 6 side, because that's what Sheffield United are now, and they played really well, and they should have had a credible draw until a horrendous error that probably won't be done again this season. So I fancy Palace in this. I never fancy Everton. I think they're fucking useless. Zaha winner, 2-1. To the Palace.
Sheffield United versus AFC Bournemouth.
Eddie's back, baby. He's staying for the year. We're staying up. Let's go, Bournemouth. Woo! Oh, I'm so happy.
Oh, I'm generally really happy too. I'm so glad he's pulled it around.
He looks so relieved in post-match conversations. I know he's not going out there I'm just so glad we won, but you can just, he's gone back 5 years. He looks young again. He was starting to look like a skeleton by the end. Haunted even. But no, really good results for them. They've really put in a shift. I don't actually know if any players have come back or if some of the players that have come back are doing better. I know Scott Fraser just gave an interview where he said he just wasn't doing enough and not playing enough. And when you get that sort of ownership from a team, that means the entire club is behind Eddie Howe. And that's when you know, Eddie will be in the job no matter what, but that's also when you know you have a good club. You have players that are willing to stand up and be like, you know what, it's my fault. I should be doing better. And they've done better. Unfortunately, they're about to come up against the steel machine that is Sheffield United that just claws out result after result. I mean, my God. They can't stop winning. They can't stop getting results.
Absolutely amazing.
They're just the opposite of a Burnley from a couple of years ago. They're impossible to beat and they score. We know them score a lot, but they score. And I think Bournemouth, as much as I love Eddie and I love the resurgence, and I think they'll stay out of the drop zone, but I think Sheffield United are going to win this 1-0.
Wouldn't it be absolutely phenomenal if Sheffield United were the team that nicked that final Champions League spot? That would just be the greatest thing ever.
Real Madrid up in Sheffield on a Wednesday evening in January.
Well, if that happened, I could see Chris Wilder doing something like he did in the Oxford versus York playoff final, where he slid to celebrate. Just quickly on the Howe thing, I'm really happy on Eddie Howe as well. I mean, you touched on it really well. It just sort of, you know how the players kind of down tools when they want a manager out. It was almost like they did that, and then they realised, like, you know what? Why are we doing it to this? This guy's like the greatest manager we maybe ever have in our careers.
It doesn't make any sense to be down.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we're letting this guy down, and we shouldn't be letting him down. Chris Wilder, I mean, I don't think you can really put into words and what an amazing job he's done. We say it every week, but when you think about Sheffield United was an absolute poison chalice when he took over. And I know they're his boyhood club. They were struggling League One side. Fans were toxic against everything about the club. And he's in even 3 years, he's turned them into well, on Saturday, they were a top 5 Premier League side. Absolutely incredible job. And I think that shows you that not only players can grow through their careers, but managers grow through their careers as well. He's just generally improved year on year as he's been a manager. And I don't think he'll be any hurry to take any other job, although people are touting it for him, because Sheffield United is pretty much his dream job. And
Eddie Howe of Sheffield.
Yeah, and they definitely do deserve to be where they are, and I would love it, Kevin Keegan style, if they did get a European place at the end of it. They deserve it for all the hard work they put in, and also as well how they've never. I don't think they've lost a game by more than a goal. I might be wrong on that. They might have lost a game 2-0 or something.
Back matches this season either.
Yeah. But they've literally gone toe-to-toe with everybody and give everybody a tough game. And Bournemouth's run's been excellent, but I can't see Sheffield United not winning this one. I'm not going to match your score. I'll say one more, and it'll be 2-0.
Just really nice to see managers having success and the way they're having success, and seeing clubs that buy into what their manager's saying. And it's nice, Ian. We would like to thank you for following, for liking. We are at almost 4,000 hours of view time in the last year, and it feels awesome. I'm wondering what you're all doing, I'll be totally honest, because I'm not sure what I'm talking about 90% of the time. Ian just feeds me PCP, and I go and go and go until the end.
I'm only at 89%.
But we really do thank you. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for getting your grandmothers, your aunts, your uncles, all these people to keep subscribing. Thank you for the nice comments. We've had a lot recently, and we really do appreciate it. I'm trying to get to everybody at least once or twice a week, and I'm doing a pretty decent job. Have a look below. Grandstand Bettors is there. We have a really good connection with them. Their tipster website. They've got a lot better tips than we do. They average over 52%. We hovered about 48. But they're really good at what they do if you're interested in football betting. Have a look at our website. Have a look at our social media. You'll see the Human Fly reviewing an Oxford match. It's a pretty exciting time for everybody. And yeah, just thank you all for everything you do. Thank you for watching, and thank you for staying on long enough to hear me say this. And without further ado, or gilding the lily, Ian, what's your mystery game?
Well, Thomas, for those of you that have followed our channel, you know we can get a little weird and wacky when it comes to mystery games, but I have chosen not to. I have chosen to keep it in English football, and I'm only going down one league into the Championship. So for a game I just could not ignore, which should be a classic. It's 4th versus 2nd. It is Nottingham Forest versus Leeds United.
So I'm going to tell you what little I know about the Championship. Leeds are in 2nd, but 2020, I don't think they've won a game yet. And if they have, it's just one, and they've lost quite a few, and they've been generally terrible. This is a big match for them, playing against 4th. Notts Forest are finally back in the playoff places, and let's be honest, they're a huge club. Both of these teams probably deserve to be in the Premier League based on fan base and history alone.
It's interesting that you say that. I think it's over 20 years since Forest have been in the Premier League, and it's coming up to nearly 20 years since Leeds have been in the Premier League.
That hurts my brain. Was it really 20 years ago Alan Smith was playing football for Leeds?
I think it's like 60. It might be like 16 years, something like that. But
yeah,
nearer 20 than they'd like.
But it's two great clubs that are playing pretty good football right now. And Leeds aren't playing good football. They were playing good football. And I have a hard time going against the Whites. I think it was Peterborough when they were on a bad run and they came up against a big team. You were talking about how that can kind of spur teams back into a good performance. And it is known to happen. And Leeds they have a top level manager. They're lucky to have him. He should not be managing in the Championship. And I think they're going to nick this. The Championship's such a tough league, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Leeds United.
I'm going to back Forest in this one, but yeah, Leeds, it's like deja vu all over again for them. Good half of the season, and then it seems to unravel. I think Leeds fans are just desperate for one nice, easy win on a Saturday. Their last few games have been them struggling to come from behind. The only game I think they've won is where they were 2-0 down. They come back to win 3-2. Terrible result against Wigan. At the weekend where they lost. Again, it was daylight robbery. But that's the same for Forest. They've been on a good run, but they had a bad result at the weekend as well. But generally, they've had an excellent season. Both of them have got two good strikers in form. Graven for Forest and, who's the guy for Leeds? Bamford for Leeds. But I'm going to back the Tricky Trees in this one, Thomas. I think Forest are going to win it. I think it's going to be the opposite way around of you've got in classic VBO style, 2-1 to Forest. With a little bit of trepidation, Thomas, what's your mystery game?
I'm going to take you down the European leagues. I'm going to take you through League One. No. The Eredivisie. No. We're not going to freaking Italy. We're not going to Spain. We are going to the Belgian First Division A, of which I don't know if there's a Belgian First Division B, but I have no interest in it because A comes before B. And we are going to speculate on the results of Sporting de Charleroi. Sporting de Charleroi versus SV Zulte Waregem.
I believe it's Charleroi, just to say that out there.
Charleroi.
Okay. Didn't you live in France for a bit? Should you not be better at these pronunciations?
I don't speak Spanish, Baxter.
What have you picked? I can't allow you to do anything. I pick a really good game and you go and pick this shower shit.
I honestly, I know nothing about either of these sides. I picked based on name, and these guys had the best name.
Oh my goodness me. So
you don't want to know what the other options were.
I'm a guy that judges a book by its cover, and I'm going to judge these teams by their names, and I'm going to say they're both excellent sides, full of goals, and this is going to be an absolute barnstormer somewhere in Belgium, somewhere.
Yugoslavia.
3 apiece.
3-3. Well, Ian, I like the technical breakdown you've done of this. I like your knowledge of the players, the systems they play, and everything. But what I really like about these is one of the teams has the word war in them. And you can trust a team with the word war. War again. Them. I'm going to back the SV Zulte Waregem to beat the Sporting de Charleroi. And I see this being a 5-0 victory to the war.
Your pronunciation of these teams is a victory for Brexit.
And on that very, very academic note, if you came looking for detailed football analysis, you're in the wrong place.
Oh, aren't you just?